Sit back and enjoy. Let's see, what's our first video? 7 MCU stories Kang could join during the multiverse war. Let's go.
What you expecting,
The MCU just went all in on their next big multiversal war phase by introducing Kang the Conqueror to really shake things up.
Phase 4 is officially on us.
Credited as Kang, probably since this isn't the main Kang that we're about to meet in future stories.
That would be weird if that would be the main Kang.
Most important character introduction the MCU has ever done.
She's still calling me that.
So what exactly is next for Kang?
Oh,
and where will
I already
he
missed
pop up
Loki.
next? Well, let's take a look at all the movies and TV shows Kang could appear in and what that means
That's
for
What
the future
If.
of the MCU. Let's get started.
I can't wait for What If. What If is gonna be amazing.
Let's start with the most obvious one. AntMan and the Wasp, but Quantum.
I mean, this
Mania
is
has
a
only
this is
two
a
things known
no-brainer.
about it. The first is that Louise will give another long monologue recapping events
Oh,
because
yeah.
that's a given at this
Oh
point.
yeah,
The
that's
other is
those are
that
legendaries.
Jonathan Majors will be playing Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah, that's confirmed.
This isn't huge, groundbreaking news. We've known Majors would be playing Kang in the film for a while now. And the question, as soon as Loki started premiering and the timekeepers were introduced, soon became whether Kang would show up a bit sooner than initially announced.
That's
And
obviously
guess
the
what?
quantum
That's
realm. We've
exactly what
known that
happened.
for a while
I mean,
now.
Sort of. Major's
I love
character
him.
in Loki is never named to be Kang, and he's credited
But
as
we know he's Kang.
which means that the Kang that will show up in Ant-Man 3 is going to be different than
Another
the one we just
variant.
saw, which makes sense given both his monologue explaining different variants of himself as well as the knife that's now sitting in his chest. So
Sylvie.
having Kang
Sylvie,
be the
why?
potentially main villain
Why,
of Quantumania
Sylvie?
is interesting for a few reasons. For one, it's going to be hilarious
Why,
watching Ant-Man
Sylvie?
interact with the potentially most powerful villain in the MCU's history, but also the choice to include Kang here means that the Quantum
Kang would
Realm
kick
is going to be
Thanos' ass.
extremely important going forward. Not that it wasn't already, but after Endgame, you could see the MCU
Cap.
maybe dropping the quantum realm in favor of multiversal travel. But now it looks like the very key to hopping different dimensions will be the quantum realm. Sorry, Scott, you're still in the middle of everything.
Yep, Ant-Man will
Look,
still need you.
absolutely everyone is returning in Spider-Man No Way Home.
Spider-Man's
Doc
gonna
Ock,
be
Electro,
yeah.
most likely probably the other Spider-Man,
Oh, I'm gonna
potentially
lose my
Green
mind.
Goblin, probably that one receptionist in Spider-Man 2 who wouldn't pay for the pizza.
Oh my god, this
Everyone.
This scene.
So why couldn't Kang make
I
an
do hope
appearance?
they bring her
He
back.
probably should, given everything we know
Oh,
about
that
the
would
movie.
be
It
hilarious.
looks like Peter's going to go off on his own Spider-Verse adventure with Doctor Strange, where things go horribly wrong.
It's gonna
I
be
would bet Peter
epic.
gets a little lost, or Doctor Strange is incapacitated for a lot of the movie, so the focus can
No,
be
not
on
Doc
Peter.
Ock,
An
not
interesting
Doc
way
Strange.
to fit Kang into this story is by having the villain be the one who separates Spider-Man from Doctor Strange and sets up the reunion between all the main Spider-Men.
Makes
this
sense.
could either be done indirectly or directly. If it's indirectly, Kang could just be moving through multiverses,
Raise the
conquering stuff
volume a
left and
bit.
right,
Wait,
and that
no,
causes
back
the
down, back down,
walls
back
of the
down, back
Spider-Verse
down.
to come crumbling down, leading to an epic adventure. But
We
on
need
the other
Andrew
hand,
Garfield,
if Kang was
Tobey
directly
Maguire,
involved, it
and
could get a little meta here.
we need Miles.
What
We
better
need
way to show
Miles
the awesome
Morales.
might and power of Kang than for Kang to be purposefully combining all three main Spidey universes together because he doesn't want to deal with the headache of keeping track of all three of them anymore. That'd be kind of cool, right?
That would be
If
amazing.
Loki
I just
was
want
the
them.
most
I
important
just want them
TV show
together.
for Marvel's future, then Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is the most important movie by far.
Yeah,
we know
that's
it's
very
going to
true.
continue the threads left in WandaVision with
That's-
Scarlet Witch
Oh,
being
the
a
Queen.
main character in the film and presumably on a quest to find
The
her
Marvel
children.
Queen.
And now there's word that Loki will be in the film as well. Out of all the
Yeah, I
projects
saw
on
that,
this
saw that
list,
as
this
well.
Doctor Strange sequel is probably the one where you need Kang the most. Now, I could say he should be the main villain, but given how this comes out a year before Quantumania, I don't think that'll be the case.
Nah,
So
he's
rather,
not gonna be the
Kang
main
just needs
villain.
to have a presence in this movie, but not necessarily
He's-
a big role.
he might
If
show up.
anything, this is the movie where we could have our big Kang introduction scene that leads into a bigger role in Ant-Man 3.
Would
With
make
Loki
sense.
now involved,
Would
maybe
make
the God of
sense.
Mischief will be the one to catch Strange up on all the happenings of his TV show, with the explanation of how he's now erased and Kang variants are fighting with one another.
Yep.
Maybe Doctor Strange will even have to fight one of these Kang variants before meeting the actual Kang.
Ooh, that would
Remember
be a
how
good
in the
fight.
first 3 phases, none of our heroes ever interacted with Thanos before Infinity War, really? Well, Phase 4
That's
could
very
do
true.
things differently, with having Strange meet Kang early on and just almost die in the process by meeting someone so powerful.
Don't kill
This
Doctor
could
Strange.
spur Strange to get the ball rolling on recruiting and prepping other Avengers for the incoming multiversal war and give them all an agency that they lacked in earlier films when
Yeah.
it came to the big threat.
Phase 4,
Plus,
Doctor
could you
Strange is gonna be
imagine a fight between the
majorly
Sorcerer
important.
Supreme and a 31st century time traveler? That'd be awesome.
Kang, I don't know, that would be awesome.
His history and his other variants, it's practically a given that he would tie into the upcoming Fantastic Four project.
What? How?
Mentions a variant
Why?
that lived in the 31st
How does it
century
make sense?
and discovered that the universes were basically like a big sandwich, stacking on top of one another, and all his other variants were discovering the same thing in different
When will we
universes.
discover this?
So, originally in the comics, this was Nathaniel Richards, who was a descendant of Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic.
Yep.
I think it's safe to say that the MCU will try to simplify Kang's complicated character history as well as his connection with
the
Reed.
original
But by
Fantastic
exploring
Four
that
movie.
lineage, the MCU is positioned to make Reed Richards one of the most important players in the upcoming multiversal war. The dramatic weight behind having a character who knows his bloodline will produce a variant of a villain that threatens to destroy everything ever is just too good of an opportunity.
Hold on,
to
Mr.
pass
Fantastic.
up. It seems like the best option for the Fantastic Four movie would be to have one of these multiverse branches already have the Fantastic Four in it and skip the backstory. That way you can more easily get into the conflict between Mr. Fantastic.
There should be a
and
movie though
Kang
with
and
depicting the origin of the
that will
Fantastic Four
define
though.
this huge multiverse arc.
I want to see the movie again.
One big thing that the MCU has subtly started making important throughout Phase 4 is the concept of the Young Avengers.
Yep, that's very true.
Gave us Wiccan and Speed. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier gave us a brief look at Eli Bradley, who we know becomes Patriot. And then Loki introduced us to
Young
Loki, who very specifically was set up as the most powerful Loki due to him killing Thor, but then, tellingly, put him away from danger and out of the story by the end of Episode 5. If you look at all that together,
though no one would argue we got a alligator Loki.
And if you didn't think Kang could be a part of this, you're mistaken. As he who
I don't know,
educate me. There are a lot of variants of himself running around, and I think that means we're going to meet a lot of different versions of Kang in the next few years.
So,
most of them are probably bad, but there are a handful of good ones too.
Is that Haley Steinfeld's character?
Iron Lad, who is a variant of Kang that joins the Young Avengers with an advanced Iron Man style suit. Putting a good Kang variant on a superhero team.
Oh yeah, because Iron Lad's a Kang variant.
Not all Kangs are similar, and create an interesting storyline where a lot of people don't trust Iron Lad because of his multiversal brethren.
That would be dope. Makes sense.
Promises to be something different in the
sense.
MCU, with a focus on more legal shenanigans than outright superhero world-ending threats.
I can't wait to see She-Hulk.
There is a storyline in the She-Hulk comics where She-Hulk is put on trial at the TVA. We know that the
Can we
TVA
get rid
is
of the
still active
TVA
and looks
already?
to be under Kang's control. So could we potentially see an ending of She-Hulk where after her series ends, a post-credit scene sees her arrested by the TVA and put on trial herself in front of Kang in season 2? I think that's a solid setup. Spend the first season establishing her as a lawyer with her unique skill set.
Yep,
then
agreed.
Blow
Is that Daredevil?
up and put her on trial for something related to the multiverse. Talk about escalation, right?
Daredevil!
Moon Knight is going to be one of the most fascinating additions to
I
the
have
MCU.
zero clue about what Moon Knight is.
Darker undertones. I don't think Kang will have much of an influence on Moon Knight right away, but just like the MCU, I'm thinking long term. Once Moon Knight and Kang are established, I think it would be fun to highlight that one time Moon Knight fought Kang. It was a special one-off comic for sure that couldn't happen in the main timeline, but we also know Marvel's What If is getting a season 2 in the future. They could
Wait, What If is already confirmed for season 2?
Follow Moon Knight as he travels across time hunting Kang the Conqueror with hilarious results.
That sounds dope.
The kind of stories What If is made for.
That's the gambit.
I guess we have to stop making Mephisto jokes, right?
Okay.
Marvel probably look at...
Okay, I like that. Okay. Makes sense. Makes some kind of sense.